Alright, Oval fans. Yeah, this video's later than expected, but it's not Saturday when I'm posting this. Well, I'm recording this Friday, but I don't know if it's going to be up today because I got like 8 videos to do. But anyway, the the United Front. Was it better than last week's episode? Honestly, this was pretty. What did I give last week's episode? As going black like a. Was it going black? I gave last week's episode 7.5, guys. I kind of forget. My bad. Look, the haves, like I said, the haves and the have-nots is back, so that's my priority. These other shows have kind of fell through the cracks for me, but we kind of pick up where we left off. Richard returns home, and after freaking out because at the, what was it, like the all-night visual or 24-hour march, whatever you want to call it, about Thomas Fields' murder, there is the pixelated photo of Barry's car. Richard wants to pull a David and Jim, well, more so Jim, from the haves and the have-nots when the whole black sedan situation happened. Remember the black sedan that was Jeffrey's car that Wyatt took and hit little Lizzie and Benny? Richard kind of wants to do the same thing and hide Barry's car, but Nancy doesn't want them to do that. He wants them to confess. Issue with this. Number one, I get it, Richard freaking out, so he wants to protect his son, but I am still suspect that they actually killed Thomas. Yeah, the formula's there. Barry's car and Richard's truck, which remember he pulled up and parked right behind Barry. Barry's crying. This is like what, episode 3 or episode 2? No, it had to be 3, right? Because at the end of episode 1, that's when Callie's kidnapped. Barry finds out at the end of like what, episode 2, rushes out, gets the gun for picking episode 3 or 4. But basically, it was towards the beginning of this season where Barry was crying in his car because Picky purposefully gave Barry a bad address. That way he wouldn't go to, you know, roll up on those cult members and get himself killed for nothing. So Barry is sitting outside of Thomas's house crying. You know, of course he didn't know who lived there. I'm just saying that was the location. Richard gets in the car, gives him a pep talk about how, you know, when you're a father, you will do anything to protect your children, even kill, but he doesn't want his son to go down that road. So Richard, who knew about the gun because Picky went by their house earlier, the night before, Richard tries to take the gun from Barry. They have a lot, you know, they kind of have a back and forth over it, and then the gun goes off. Nobody in the car is shot, but Richard mentioned that there's a hole in the door. Now, my first instinct would be, check, was there an exit hole on the other side of the passenger side door? Because the gun didn't go off and go through the window. No, Richard literally said there's a hole in the door, but we do not know if a bullet went directly through the car door and then somehow hit Thomas through the window. Because number one, was the window to Thomas's bedroom open? Because if it was, then the bullet, you know, went through the door and went in the house and boom, killed him. Number two, if the window was not open in Thomas's bedroom, then we would have heard glass shatter or seen broken glass outside of the house, but we did not. So I'm honestly thinking that something else happened to Thomas Fields in terms of him being shot. I don't think that Barry and Richard did it. The ingredients are there because of the fact that, the gun went off. They just so happened to be sitting outside of the house. The car is in the camera. The car is on surveillance. But remember, we don't really know when that photo was taken. Obviously, it was when Barry was parked out there. But why wasn't Richard's truck there? Because if the surveillance footage was, you know, very secure, I guess you could say, reliable, they would have found that, oh, well, what about this dude's truck who came up behind the car, and then this man who got out of the truck went inside the car, and then after that, you know, if you look at the timestamp of when this young lady discovered her father dead, the car drove off first, and then Richard drove off moments before the young woman came out of the house screaming that her father was dead. So I'm still suspect about Richard and Barry actually being the ones to kill Thomas Fields. And I'm not saying I don't like Richard, but Richard puts his son in bad situations. Don't get me wrong, I am not defending Barry because he gets himself into his own shit sometimes. But think of it this way. Richard was the one that told Barry to go up to the room with Gail, leading to the accusations. Richard was the one that was trying to take a loaded gun away from his son because Barry didn't want to give up the gun, but Richard was the one that was really, physically trying to grapple the gun away, which led to it going off. So that's kind of on him. But in any case, the episode starts off with Yuma dropping off Denise. Denise pretty much, I guess you could say baiting Yuma into revealing that she's into women. And before getting out of the vehicle, she steals her wallet and then shows that, oh, you're married to a woman. You're not married to a man. And offers to allow her to come into the store with her. But Yuma, who looks tempted, decides to drive off. Okay, that's an opening. We go over to Lily and Donald. And even the women that work at the post office, whenever I go to drop off some eBay stuff that needs to be mailed off, and then we talk about, hey, did you watch The Oval and Sisters this week? Even the women at the post office have been saying, why doesn't Lily put on some clothes? She's been wearing the same nightgown for like 2 months now, walking around barefoot. Why ain't she wearing slippers? And, as a guy, I honestly don't mind that, she dressed like that. But thankfully, it's the next day. She's wearing a different, a dress and everything. And I will admit, her bringing up Bobby at first was a bit annoying, but then she backs it up based off the fact that she wants to know if there's something that Donald isn't telling her, like, was Bobby sent after me? So that was interesting. And plus it was a short scene, so I can, move on from that. Donald obviously tired because of the fact that him and the senior staff were working overtime last night because of Gail's actions. So, he's getting ready to go into work. Then we get some good, honestly, I feel like the middle of the episode. Yeah, I feel like most of the middle and then some of the back half of the episode were really good because this episode was honestly really good. Victoria and Priscilla, I think for like the first time, have a lengthy conversation. And what I love is like moments where it feels like they're breaking the fourth wall when Victoria confronts Priscilla about saying, ma'am and sir, you're acting so fake. Y'all like robots. But then Priscilla's like, honestly, we're just doing our job, ma'am. And I think what really gets me is Victoria being suspect about why was there a staff change last night? Is anyone gossiping about us? And then Priscilla says, no. Because it felt like a sensitive subject. We wanted the senior staff here. And the senior staff, we don't gossip amongst each other or the press, which makes me think very interesting that Priscilla said the senior staff. What about the, I guess you could say the less tenured staff? Do they gossip? I don't know. But in any case, it was a nice moment. And I think that just seeing moments where you have characters like Gail and Victoria being, a bit nicer to people who are, being nice to them. I like those moments. And then we get someone telling Victoria that her father's on the phone. So then Victoria goes up to the bedroom with Hunter. He's still being a bit of an ass. And then when Victoria's father is on the phone, that attitude changes dramatically. And it's like, damn, Hunter ain't, he's literally, as Victoria's mother will call him in the preview for next week, none but a hillbilly, because Victoria's dad shut that down. It's just interesting to see that both of them were on their best behavior when Victoria's father was on the phone. So I don't know who this man is, but when he talks, they listen. Apparently, he got his hands on an article about some kind of mess that went on last night involving Hunter's daughter. Probably the shooting of like Picky and his crew or some along those lines. But in any case, Victoria's suspicions are, confirmed that someone is talking about them. Someone has their business out there. Because remember, even when Gail was like roadkill on the street, she's like, Yuma, we're not waiting for 911 because we don't want this to get to the press. Because despite all the dysfunction going on in the Franklin family, she wants to keep it under the vest. She doesn't want anyone to know, hell, even the staff, which goes back to the haves and the have-nots. And I make this comparison in a good way. This isn't me saying, oh boy, here we go, these characters acting like other characters from another show. No, I'm making this comparison in a positive light because it really goes back to the likes of Veronica. Whenever her and David had conversations or whatever, she wanted to make sure none of the cleaning staff or anything knew about the dysfunction in their marriage or their family. So she really wanted to keep it under the vest. Like, David, keep your voice down. The staff here talk and whatnot. So I like that. But in any case, Victoria and Hunter got. See, Tyler Perry, this is what I like. This is what, when you have scenes where characters talk, they don't always have to be one-upping each other with witty banter. They don't always have to be throwing stuff or hitting each other across the room. When you have kind of quiet moments like this, it really shows character. Like Hunter talking about how he doesn't want to do this charade for 4 years. Victoria's in it for the money. We're going to make millions for this because these people want a return on their investment. And then Hunter's like, yeah, they expect from you too, but more so from you, honey. But basically, it's just that he was 4 years as mayor, 8 years as governor, and he doesn't feel like he can make it another 4 in the White House. So moments like this were amazing. And look, guys, you know me, when I review these shows that I honestly don't have that much interest in, I'm not against talking about the things I didn't like, but when there are moments where I love it, I will actually praise it. So Tyler Perry, kudos to you. I love the scene between Victoria and Priscilla. I love this scene between Victoria and Hunter. Then we go over to Barry, who wakes up, and thankfully, I think Sharon told him to take a shower last night. So guys, for everyone wondering, Barry did. Wait, no. Did he not take a shower? Didn't Sharon said, hey, you need to go take a shower, baby. And he's like, no, I need to go get my car because Callie's doll's in there. And it's like, I feel bad that he lost his daughter. I'm not going to say I get that. I understand because I can't relate. I don't have a child. But at the same time, it's like, bro, just learn some new dialogue. It's like the same thing every time. I need to find my daughter. It's like, no, you need to calm your ass down. So basically, he rushes to his car to get the dog. And that actually makes sense. It's like, you don't have your daughter around. You want to have like something like a personal belonging in order to kind of feel close, even though she's not with you anymore for now. He rushes out there, doesn't find the car, goes to talk to Nancy, and Nancy, oh my God. It's like 1 minute I like her, then the next minute I don't, because now not only does she think her son stabbed someone with a missing butcher knife, but now she thinks that, you got a gun? Where'd you get a gun from? And you killed somebody. Like, what the hell? So I can see why. It's like, didn't Sharon say in the last episode, Barry's going to apologize to you when he wakes up, but now all of a sudden you want to just slap him across the... These people need to sit down and talk. Because Richard, okay. So Nancy's going off about this whole you killed someone thing again. And then Sharon's like, okay, Barry, don't call the cops because Kareem, he pressed charges against you. He did what? Well, Barry, you came into his pharmacy, tried to physically take your girlfriend out of the premises, one of his employees, and then you literally got into a physical altercation with Kareem, causing a lot of damage to his store. So him pressing charges should not be much of a surprise to you. Then when Sharon says she's going to work, which honestly, I get it from Barry's standpoint because he's conflicted about what Picky said in terms of there being a drug operation. Remember, if I'm not mistaken, in the past like 2 or 3 episodes, since Barry asked Sharon about it, she kind of brushed it off and didn't answer the question. Yeah, she's probably, what was it? What did Piggy say? Like, Kareem's the main guy, but Sharon's like one of the dealers or distributors or whatever, and everybody in the hood knows it. So yeah, but at the same time, at the moment, Richard, number one, is still unemployed. He's still unemployed. Number two, I don't believe Nancy works anywhere. I could be wrong, so correct me if I'm wrong on that. Number three, I don't ever believe we've heard Barry working anywhere or heard of him having a job or working anywhere. If we have, again, let me know. And as of right now, Sharon's the only person in the house working, so those bills got to be paid somehow. So got to do what you got to do. So Barry doesn't want her to go, but then she goes. Then Richard shows up, I believe, saying that Barry, we need to go to the police station. So Richard couldn't go through with hiding the car, so he wanted to do the right thing. So they go to the police station in order to explain what's going on. And I think earlier in the episode, it was like, I'll call, see if I can get a lawyer or something like that. But again, they really honestly don't know if they were the ones that did it. I still don't think they did it because remember, I think that Thomas Field's daughter probably went to wake up her father, and then boom, she found him dead. But I don't know. We'll find out as the show goes on. Let's see here. looking at the notes. Jason and Priscilla have a pretty nice scene where Jason, for once, wasn't super creepy, which I'll retract that statement within the next couple minutes here. He's having breakfast. Priscilla checks on him to see what's going, see if he's okay, and wants to know about his sister. But Priscilla, didn't even know about the whole car situation. And they have a nice little chat. How one day she wants to have kids. I honestly thought Jason was going to say something, very creepy and inappropriate, but no. She wants to have kids with Sam, but they've been trying, no luck yet. They want to have 2, and it's like, yeah, just don't be like my parents. And is there anything else I can get for you? A way out of here. It's like, I can't do that. So yeah, it's almost like every day the staff interacts with these children. It's like, please get us out of here. And not to mention Jason being Jason, I'm pretty sure he could figure his way out of there if he wanted to. Hell, he already did it for Gail. But wait, didn't he tell Gene one time I was on the roof of the White House? Creep. Okay. Then we go over to let's see. What's that, the White House? Oh yeah. A nurse or medic tells Victoria that, hey, here are some mild pain meds for Gail. She's doing okay. She'll just heal over time. Victoria doesn't want her to have pain meds. Then Jason goes to see Gail's like, can I check out your bruises? And it's like, first of all, Jason, you're not even 3 feet away from your sister. Her bruises are clearly on her knees and upper leg. Don't be a creep. So yeah, I retract what I said about him, Priscilla. Well, he wasn't creepy in this scene. Well, that scene, but he was overly creepy in this scene. So Victoria comes in, tells Jason to leave, and pretty much tells Gail about the whole situation, how dumb it was that you did what you did. But at the end of the day, you're not getting these pain meds. I want you to experience pain. So then I didn't realize this. So Kyle video recorded the shooting of Picky and his crew. So Picky dead. Damn. Wow. Guys, I was wrong. I was wrong. Or should I say misguided? Because in my video about did Kyle abuse his power, I said that I don't know if Picky is dead or if they like cut the episode for suspense, like Kyle shot at Picky. Well, Kyle pulled a Wyatt where we thought that Picky Catherine was shot, but no, he purposely missed, because honestly, when it was down to Picky and one other thug, Kyle was like, I got 3 bullets left. He used 1 to kill the 3rd guy. So then I thought, oh, what if he shot at Picky but missed him on purpose just to show him he wasn't playing games? And then with the last bullet, he's like, look, this is your last chance to tell me everything you know, and if you talk, hey, you're good, but if not, you get killed. So that was disturbing. Imagine that, because I wonder if Gail feels anything, because once again, not to sound mean, but this is kind of her fault. And I'm not saying, once again, I've already done the video, like it was a lengthy video about Kyle and I go into detail about it, but even though, she was the one that was about to be assaulted by those dudes until Richard saved her, you have to look at it from the perspective of, well, remember, Gail was the one that left the White House and went over to Picky's territory, leading to everything that happened. Not to mention, if Barry and Picky didn't kick her out, then she wouldn't have been walking out there alone and then got assaulted by those guys. The price of her allegations against Barry that were fake. So, yeah, Gail is really responsible for those deaths indirectly. It's like the domino effect. She tilted the first domino with those fake allegations against Barry, and then we go full circle. You have Richard losing his job, Barry's life being in turmoil, Picky and these dudes being killed, and that's all on her. Sucks, but Victoria, man, actually, I don't even think she kind of was like fake nice to Gail, because she knew she was about to drop a bomb. Boom. So let's see here. Looking over notes. Guys, I'm not really going to talk about the ending of the episode. The part where Tally kills herself. I did a video on that about how Tally is a bad house guest. Watch that video. I go into my full rant about it because she was a terrible character. But either way, she finally gave over the information about the locations of where she knew the cult was before, but there could be other places she doesn't know about because they're always moving. She wanted to record a will about how, hey, this is my full name, my last will and testament, here's my daughter, and after my death, I want Nancy to take care of my children. Richard's like, whoa, 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 what you talking about? You ain't going nowhere. And then she killed herself. But before that, we have Donald and Hunter in the Oval talking. Basically, Donald's like, look, we got a full list of things to do. Like, we need to go over cabinet members. We need to have a staff, this and that. Oh, and also jumping back to earlier in the episode, Priscilla made the suggestion that maybe you should present a united front to the staff just to let them know there's no foul play and everything's good to go, which was a good scene because Victoria not only took that advice, but she allowed Priscilla to make her coffee, which was good. Then we go over to how, what was it? Donald was told by Hunter, why is Max still at the door? I thought it was supposed to be Kyle. And Donald said something that I'm pretty sure at least 3 characters in the show have already said before. I haven't gotten around to telling them yet. And I'm like, I thought y'all supposed to be efficient people. Like, when something important needs to be passed down the line, y'all do it right away. But whatever. So in any case, he gives Hunter a list of suggested cabinet members that his father-in-law suggested, but then he rips it up as soon as Donald walks out. Donald talks to Max about the exchange of, I guess you could say the position he's in, where Kyle's going to be like the head of security and whatnot. Kyle goes into his office. Donald and him talk about it. Donald calls him out for being a snake. Like, I know that you usurped Max of his position, so you got what you wanted, right? And then he goes into, I'm sorry, and I want you for like the 50th time already in this damn show. And then we actually learned some stuff because apparently Donald and Kyle used to be together, but then Kyle, I guess you could say, cheated on Donald with someone. I don't know who it is. Could it have been Bobby? I don't know. But in any case, Donald was so burned by that heartbreak, I suppose, he ended up marrying Lily. And yeah, that actually could explain why those two haven't had sex. So basically, he tries to go, I guess you could say, feel on Donald's lap, and he gets up like, sir, I can see it. You still want me. Then he creepily laughs and then leaves the office. So then we go to the Oval, which is again a great scene where all the staff is there. Gene throwing that shade like, yeah, we're here. We're all going to get fired, aren't we? No. Well, we can at least ask, see if I get my car back. Like, shh. Her eye roll was hilarious. So Donald comes in, thanks everyone for showing up. Max is the only one. No problem. Glad to be here, sir. I'm like, if you don't shut your creepy ass up. So then we can see why Victoria and Hunter have been able to fool the press for what? 12 years, 4 when he was mayor, 8 when he was governor, just because they put on a pretty damn good show. Like, oh yeah, we have, who hasn't had problems with their spouses. And then I love how Victoria was looking at Priscilla and then Kyle was looking at Donald. It was just little stuff like that made me like this scene. So basically, thanks everyone for their service. Yuma, thanks for being great with my daughter. And I'm like, yeah, you really didn't thank her last night, that's for sure. So in any case, right before they leave, because no one had questions, Priscilla, being the MVP she is, asked about Richard getting his job back. Donald was about to shut that down. I was like, Priscilla, I'll talk to you after. Like, no. Who's Richard? What the hell, Hunter? Okay, I got to dock points for this because Victoria told, first of all, Hunter, wouldn't you remember the name and position of the man you fired for the allegations that your daughter put against his son? Victoria told him to hire him back right away. Then freaking Victoria asked about where's the butler? Oh, we fired him, huh? And then Donald for like 7 episodes have been saying, oh yeah, I'll work on it. And then hell, Sam said he was going to work on it too. And y'all even went over to Richard's house saying that, okay, we'll spread around some, spread word around the the White House to see if we can get you your job back. But thank God Priscilla says something, or Richard probably would never got his job back. So when Hunter asked, does everyone feel that way about him being essential to the staff? I love the united front that the staff showed to the united front that Victoria and Hunter had. So thank God Richard will immediately get his job back. Donald said he's on it, which I hope means he's on it. So, well, I mean, even though Richard going through a lot of stuff right now, well, at least we know he's going to get his job back. So part of me is happy that he's finally getting his job back officially. But at the same time, the fact that Hunter is like, who's that? Ugh, okay. Either way, it was a great scene. And then Hunter does have some good one-liners like, that bitch is like a spy virus. She just always sees everything, and it's like, yeah, I'm ready to get down to business once the wicked witch of the West Wing leaves or whatever. He has some good one-liners when Hunter got some good one-liners. Okay, so let me look over the notes one more time. Honestly, I didn't expect this video to be so good. So long, but this episode did have some great scenes in it. Yuma, Victoria, Father, Barry, Donald, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I think that's it. Honestly, I feel like this score is a bit too high, but this episode did have some praiseworthy scenes, so I will give a United Front an 8 out of 10. I think it had some problematic moments, but I love moments like Victoria calling people out for saying sir and ma'am, her conversation with her father, Victoria's father's conversation with Victoria and Hunter and Victoria's conversation, the moment in the Oval between the staff and, the first lady and president. And I feel like 8 out of 10 is a fair score. So let me know your thoughts on this episode of The Oval. Remember, next week is the mid-season finale. Also, I should give this episode praise because we finally made it to the next day. We're no longer in the same night, so that was good. But make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let me know your thoughts in the episode in the comment section below. Check me out on social media, links in the description box, and I will talk to you all later.